should the timetables be for withdrawal from Afghanistan and Iraq?
That's a very important question about our national security. And I think it's very important to point out at the outset that as a member of Congress, I will always vote to support our troops and to let our troops accomplish the mission as defined by the Pentagon and by our Commander-in-Chief. I am glad to see that our troops are returning safely and swiftly from Iraq, and I am glad to see that we have restored some measure of democracy to that country. As far as Afghanistan goes, we are watching warily to see whether or not we can, in fact, accomplish the timeline that the President and the Pentagon has laid out, have laid out together. I think that we must understand that Afghanistan was not a war of choice, it was a war of necessity. And therefore we must accomplish the mission there, which is to defeat the radical terrorist networks that wish our nation harm and that attacked us on September 11th and continue to want to do us harm here in our country and around the world. So I think as the next member of Congress, we must have, the key is for the Congress to always support our troops, both with funding, material, and have the assets necessary so that they can accomplish the mission as defined by the military commanders and by the Commander-in-Chief.
Mike, you have 60 seconds to respond to the question. Again, what should the timetables be for withdrawal from Afghanistan and Iraq?
Yeah, timetables for fighting against Islamic radical terrorism are not set in days or on the calendar. They're set by measuring success. You don't move soldiers into harm's way and commit to bringing them out just 18 months later. That's what this president did. You set a mission, you define it carefully, you make sure you've resourced it properly so that you can execute that mission with great vigor. You don't send soldiers into harm's way with rules of engagement that constrain them from doing the mission you sent them there to do. These are all things that our soldiers, our sailors, and airmen and Marines are fighting against today. They are working hard to overcome the restrictions that have been placed on them by an administration that isn't prepared to do the things we need to do to take on that battle in a serious way. So no time limits. You don't tell the enemy what your plans are before you're prepared to execute them, and that's what this administration has done in Afghanistan.